Hi, I'm Kay, and this is iMusician Show. As we hit our 30th episode today, we'll have a somewhat different show today. So today we're actually going to talk about two mainstream artists, namely Drake and Laufey. Obviously, Drake has been a topic of music conversations lately and is topping charts as of right now. Also, the Icelandic jazz singer Laufey has made quite a noise on TikTok and other social media. So let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about Drake. Obviously, he has put out an album called For All the Dogs recently, which he first hinted at in his free concert in Apollo Theater in New York City. Also, prior to this album, he published a book of poetry called Titles Ruin Everything. Both the book and the album are premised on an old Drake line from his second album, Take Care.
She says they missed the whole Drake, girl, don't tempt me.
Additionally, as the artist reflects back on his music career, he also stated that he's not gonna make music for a while. For All the Dogs has received mixed reviews from critics and people who are specifically comparing it to his second album, Take Care, which is a Drake classic. Perhaps one of the more interesting things about this album was Drake's continuation to pay tribute to 𝗙elle, the late fashion designer and the former creative director of Louis Vuitton. This close association with the late artist, among many other things, seems to be a matter of contention between Drake and some of his rap rivals, so to say. It's also interesting that the album is licensed through Republic Records, but is owned by the artist's OVO. Now, enough of mainstream music. Let's get into more niche corners of recent music talks. Now, let's shift our focus on Laufey. Laufey, as I said, is an Icelandic singer who's been labeled as savior of jazz for Gen Z. As of right now, she's the most streamed, currently active artist in Spotify's jazz category. At only 24 years old, she has definitely caught some people's eyes as she amassed millions of views on TikTok and other social media.
Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
Her music is said to be influenced by some of the biggest names in jazz singing history, such as Ella Fitzgerald and Chet Baker. Nonetheless, as of late, there's been a lot of talks and discussions about the genre of music that she plays, with some people debating and arguing that her music does not fit under the umbrella of jazz music. To either prove or disprove that she's a jazz musician, I think it requires a musician to dive deep into her music. And we're lucky here because one of the most famous music YouTubers has made a video about her. Namely, Adam Neely has discussed her music and actually concluded that her music cannot be considered as jazz. In short, Adam Neely argues that her music is more adjacent to mid-century pop. You can find the link to Adam's video on the top of this video. Obviously, I would assume that all of you are familiar with the statement that jazz is dead. And I think one of the reasons for that is that jazz is inherently a complex type of music. And the efforts that has been made to make it more popular has often stripped it off of its fundamental elements, such as improvisation. But obviously, music genres have blurry definitions, and from an artistic point of view, it actually limits the artists and categorizes them and put them in a box. But from the marketing point of view, it seems to be a quintessential part of the music business. The jazz label in Laufey's case, I think, serves as a prestigious label that says something about its consumption, that the consumer of it is somewhat intellectual or has high or elite taste. Even though the days of rigid classifications in art are long over, and you can see that, for example, in fashion industry, in the design of streetwear, when it comes to cultural products, there seems to be no escape from these type of labels. Now, we're at the end of our show today. Thank you so much for sticking till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to iMusician channel. I'll see you very soon. Ciao.